Hello and welcome to Gorilla and the Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm joined as always by my good pal John, the Ginger Gorilla. John, how you doing today?
Kyle, I have my air condition cranked because we are about to get Fortnite sweaty. Oh
Big facts.
man, what a week it's been. Well, half an end of the week, at least,
Yeah,
in the gaming Fortnite world, right? So just a quick overview. If you listen weekly, last week we talked about how we were excited because we're getting an Avengers themed Fortnite Battle Pass. Didn't really know too much about it, but we talked about it. We were excited. We kind of talked about what we wanted to see, and now it's here. And Kyle, I think it delivered.
yeah, for sure. It's weird. The Fortnite fandom has kind of trailed off a little bit more towards like the hardcore fans, kind of like us, like the mainstream. And I don't really care about this. The streamers don't really play this game anymore. The
Yeah.
biggest ones like Tim, Lupo, who knows if Ninja streams anymore. Those guys might not be playing anymore, but that's fine. But I feel like the hype for a Fortnite season hasn't really been at this level maybe since post season X. Like going into the black hole event, everyone was so excited because of the rumors for a new map. But this one, you know, you, the prospect of having Marvel's Avengers skins, I mean, that's something that you and I've wanted for years, and it's it's here, and I think it delivered. But I mean, you felt the energy even amongst we have a Fortnite group chat, and you felt it. It was in the air. Everyone was excited. We all woke up wild early, got our first dubs in. John and I, of course, got some solo dolos this week, which was nice and needed.
Oh yeah, it was. It
And
was.
yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. What about you? How were your thoughts going into it?
Bro, I was going into it before the season came out. I was so excited, but I was also very nervous, right? Because I was nervous that this excitement was building, and
To
then
nothing.
Fortnite, yeah, and Epic were going to do the same thing that's happened time and time again, where it builds, and to be honest, this season is more than I expected, in a sense, right? It has all the Marvel skins. I didn't expect a whole battle pass of Marvel skins, and we got a whole battle pass. Every skin in that battle pass is a Marvel skin. I kind of was hoping we got a Peely with the claws,
That's
but
interesting that they
I
didn't.
I have a feeling that that's gonna be maybe a store skin, which
Okay, I can see that.
I'm not gonna get. But if it
Yeah,
was in the battle pass, it would have been fun because that's a fun look that he's like.
yeah,
Um, but besides that, just the game overall, they listened to what people were saying for the most part, right? Most of the people were like, "We want more stuff in this game to make it fun again," and they did that. They brought back so many variants of weapons. They brought back the shockwave grenade, a boogie bomb, the bounce pad, portaforts, and the mythic weapons are just different this time around. They're just different because they're not necessarily weapons; they're more of abilities, and the way they did them are pretty cool. Um, and it just feels so much fun again. That's the biggest thing. We were playing. I mean, yesterday I played for almost 9 hours, and I just the whole time I was having so much fun. Did I get frustrated here and there because I died? Yeah, that's because I can't aim. It's not the game's fault. It's mine. Um, but it's just it feels like that old Fortnite's back, and I hope that they take this and they just keep going in this direction again because I think then they could get. And I'm to be honest, I don't care about a larger fan base back again. I mean, I like the game how it is. I don't care. My friends are playing. That's all I care. It's always had views on Twitch. It's never dropped. It's always the top 5 game. So with that, I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I hope more bigger streamers come in to take more views away from other people.
hmm.
Um, but it's so much fun again, and I'm loving it, and I hope it stays this way. I hope they're back on it.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that we saw coming back last year was a little bit more of the creativity. from Epic.
Mm.
I mean, even with the charged shotgun, which at first we were all kind of like, ugh, yikes. But then eventually it became kind of like a big part of the meta. And the introduction of cars was huge, a really well executed uh, mode of transportation in the game. Probably the best
Mhm.
one since maybe I like cars better than the helicopters,
Yeah,
just
same.
because
They're fun.
they're fun.
They're so
Exactly.
fun. You shoot at a tire, you can flip the car. If you take a corner too fast, the trucks will flip. That's a good time.
I mean, it's probably the best vehicle they've done since the Baller. It's not better
Yeah,
than the Baller, but
no,
since then,
but the baller was ball in.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
the I genuinely only have one negative about the season, and that's the somewhat erratic decision to get rid of the 100% chest spawn.
Yeah, yeah, man. It just feels. I don't know. It just feels
It
just like
feels like a
let's
decision for the
some.
make of making a decision,
So
not
yeah,
for anything
yeah. So
purposeful.
I've always heard an analogy, and since we also love talking about movies in this, maybe some of these people could relate to this. Of like producers on a movie set always, or a TV show, always feel like they have to tweak something just a little bit. A producer feels like they have to tweak it so they can be back in that. Well, that's what I made. I made that change. That's what I did, and it might not be for the betterment of the film or the show, but it's just like, well, I made that change. I feel like a producer at Epic was like, hey, how about we get rid of 100% chest spawn? You know, even though it's been going great, no one's complained about it. Let's just get rid of it and bring back some RNG, which I had to look up what that meant because people kept saying it to me online, and
Can
I
you
was
say
like,
it to me? Actually, I don't
R
know what that means.
RNG, random number generator. But what it stands for, I'm like, how does that stand for anything? Basically, what it means is, um, will you get a chest or not in Fortnite? It's basically the randomness of getting a chest. It makes the game more random and luck based when you first land. And I
Mm.
don't want that. Now, I given, look, a battle royale will always be luck based to a certain extent because you could open that chest and get a pistol out of it, right? Or even worse now, a scoped AR because you don't want to get that out of a chest at the start of a game. But I at least want that chance, you know? I want to go somewhere and know, hey, I'm going to get a gun. And there's no problem in that. And I don't know why they changed it. Hopefully, we can make enough stink online or something that maybe they
Hmm.
change it. But it's Epic, and they probably won't because we made a lot of stinks about those mechs. And yeah, they stayed. But besides that, like there is other things that they did get rid of that I was like, damn, I was really enjoying that, like the hunting rifle, the flare
I didn't
gun,
even notice that they got rid of the hunting rifle. That
yeah,
stinks.
the flare gun, and the launch pad. Those are the three things that they got rid of. That I was like,
The launch
damn.
pad.
But
Oh,
generally, for some reason, and which is weird, I don't know why, the launch pad doesn't feel like it's missing that much this season so far. And we've had to go pretty far, but I haven't really
it's.
felt it.
I think it's because of how readily available cars are.
Mm,
Like
that's true.
season one of this chapter was awful when it came to
Mm-hmm.
map placement. I mean,
Well, yeah, because
maybe even
yeah.
season two was worse because like there were a lot of times where remember when the map like end circle would be off the map
Oh yeah,
half
it
of
was
it,
just all the way. Yeah, they would mess around with the circles.
and it's like that type of stuff when you don't have modes of transportation makes the game feel unplayable. and
Mm-hmm.
when uh, and when you take away launch pads again for the sake of taking away launch pads and you don't have a way of, at the time what it was just boats, right?
Yeah, just boats, and some like there would be once in a while that boats would get like disabled because there'd be a glitch, and then you'd be like, "Well, I guess today we're just running across the map, or we're gonna go play
Yeah,
Destiny."
yeah, we're gonna go play Destiny. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing though, like when you make decisions like that, you have the risk of people not wanting to play your game. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you and I have been pretty hardcore Fortnite players for what the better part of like 2.5 years, and for a while there, we lost interest in the game, and
Yeah,
it's our
man.
favorite game ever.
I mean, I was
So,
saying on stream the one day, it felt like I lost a part of my content identity. Right, I started creating content through Fortnite, and then obviously branched off into other games and podcasts and discussions that we do. But like when I didn't have that love for Fortnite anymore or that want to play Fortnite, I was like, damn, like what do I like what why am I making content basically? Like what is it? It just I mean that was just a hurdle on my own thing because I actually had to figure out like what I want to make, what type of stuff I want to make. And um it's just so happy it's back, right?
Yeah.
Because it just feels like it's nostalgic almost. Like last night we were playing. We're recording this on Saturday, August 29th, by the way, just for reference for people. So last night we were playing and we got our first four-peat,
Ever.
four dubs in a row, and we were just beaming, man. We were beaming, and then the next game we lost one of our squad members. We got a second place, but we were just still like we just felt that vibe. The vibes are there. Kyle threw a shockwave at us a couple times, and we like went flying, and it was just funny. We're giggling at the game again from nonsense, so it's a lot of fun. Um, but with that said, we obviously are loving this game. Let's talk about some of the changes they made, right? I want to talk about the weapons they did bring back. One of the biggest ones is the pump shotgun. The pump shotgun's back, and they kept the charge with it, and they got a combat now. How do you feel about these new shotgun variations in this game with getting rid of the tack and trading it out basically for the combat? Um, and these three choices that we have for the shotgun now.
So it's odd. The combat shotgun was my favorite shotgun ever. One of my favorite guns, period, that Fortnite has ever had into the game. They seem to have not nerfed. Nerfed is kind of a dramatic word, but lessened the cheese ability
They
of
put
it.
bumpers on it, like a little,
Yeah.
like kids bumpers for the edge of tables. They didn't nerf it out completely. There's a little bit of safety there.
Yeah, it's not as powerful as it used to be. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure what the range is. It used to be. We used to call it a shotgun sniper back in the
Yeah.
day. So I'm happy that's back. I'm happy that there's at least one type of shotgun that's rapid fire. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want them to take away the tack and have only pumps and charges. That would stink, especially
Yeah.
for nights where I'm not hitting. But I like that they kept the charge, and I like that the pumps back.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm gonna throw it back to you with an added question. Do you wish the double pump was back, which people have been talking about since like season 4
You know,
of last chapter?
I'm gonna have to say no, just for the fact that I think it would almost mute the fact that the charge is there unless you do charge into a pump. But even at that point, it's like it would just be so overwhelming for once again. And I get we shouldn't cater to newer players all the time, but can you imagine being a newer player and then all of a sudden you're being charge pumped or charged or
True.
like how quick like you're basically someone's on top of you and then your whole life is blown up because people are just like that would be a little overwhelming. Where at least if the pump hits but it doesn't fully hit, you could kind of survive, and then you start getting sprayed. Maybe you could catch them with a good shot. Um, but I honestly have to say I think this is the most viable time for shotguns in the game ever, where all three can be used pretty effectively. Because the combat I'm still trying to figure out exactly what changed about it, because there was times that I've used it and I was like maybe 2 floors up from someone and I'm shooting down at them and it's hitting hard. Um, but then there's other times where it just feels like it's maybe not the same, but maybe I just don't have the feel for it again. Maybe I need to get that feel and get used to it because I haven't used it in a while. But then the charge is still so powerful, and then that pump is just you click and it's boom, it's shot. Like you hit, as soon as you touch it, it shoots, and it could do a good hit, and then you could spray the rest of the way, or you could just kind of maneuver and try to get that next shot off. So I think all three are very, very viable options and can lead to very different play styles. I think this is the cleanest three shotguns we've ever had, because if we think back to it, right? We remember that time that we had, let's say, the tac shotgun, the
Mm-hmm.
pump, and then the auto shotgun.
The one that
Remember
it shot like
it's
super
a
rapid.
bah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most people would go for the pump because the tack wasn't necessarily super powerful. But if you had trouble, like we did, hitting, we would take the tack, right? But very rarely were people taking that auto shotgun. It's just like you feel like you have that extra shotgun there. Or with the double barrel. How often were people actually running around with the double barrel? Maybe you do it for fun sometimes, but like, were we actually taking it for like all the time? I'm using that double barrel gun. No, it was just this is what I got. Maybe I got a gold one. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I got a gold one. Let me use it. But for the most part, you trade it out for something that you're more comfortable with. Where now I
Yeah.
feel like if I get a combat and I'm just like, you know what, I'm feeling the combat right now. I'm gonna run with the whole game. You get a pump. You're like, yeah. But also like if I get a purple or gold charge, I'm like, hell yeah, it's got those bigger. The clip sizes are bigger, and it just the hitting with that is like hitting with like nothing else because you could first could be full health and you get a good shot on it and it's just boom, devastate it. So I think this is the most solid time for shotguns in all of Fortnite play, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, but I think it's something pretty crazy.
Yeah, in terms of the I mean they changed up a lot of the close range play in general.
Mm-hmm.
You go from that, you go to the SMG realm. They got rid of the it's just called the
They
submachine gun, right?
yeah
The original.
yeah the submachine gun they swapped out for the silence, and then the rapid fire they swapped out for the tac.
Yeah, which I don't know, either one is a viable option. The silence is like better from
Mm-hmm.
all aspects, but either way, not going to get a complaint out of me from those.
Yeah.
The From the AR standpoint, we kind of have a new addition to it with the Stark weapon. I
Oh
don't know if you want to
yeah.
get there already.
Yeah. That I mean
So
it's
what's cool about that is that it's incorporating again the season theme into gameplay
mm-hmm.
in a good way because you were always a big fan of single shot rifles, and now we have that, but now it's a Tony Stark laser weapon,
Yeah.
and that's just fun, and it
It's
hits
yeah.
for big damage as well.
That's the thing. Like I said yesterday when we were using it, I was like, oh, this reminds me exactly of the heavy auto rifle or whatever it was called. It just, yeah, it's you can hold it down and fire,
Mm-hmm.
but that's gonna make the bloom crazy. Recoil's gonna be wild. It's gonna be hard to control and actually hit those shots. But those single with the first shot accuracy, whew. And I noticed yesterday, I might start using that over a scoped rifle. Because
Rather
this
as your
not
distance.
necessarily a sniper, but the scoped rifle as a distance for the fifth slot. Yeah, the that extra weapon that I like to carry, um, because it hits big, man, especially those headshots. And that's the thing about this game, which is so much fun. No matter who you are, if you're getting hit with that in a headshot and you lose 50 shield or 50 health just so quickly, you're like, oh, it's jarring. Like you're like, oh crap, I'm being lasered. Um, so with that, yeah, it was such a and like you said, it going into the theme of the season is all the fun. The fact that you got to get it at these locations where there's the Stark robots are kind of patrolling, and then with them, the fact that you could either kill them or you could hack them and have them run with you, it's so much fun because yesterday I was playing in one of my solos. I was the only person who actually went to this the one area, and I hacked all the robots. So I had a mob of robots, and I got
That's
into a
dope.
fight, and the guy I think was better than me, but he got distracted because all these robots are shooting at him, and I was able to
And they
kill
have
him.
pretty good aim. They have pretty good
Yeah,
aim.
and I was able to kill him. So it was like this is so much fun. It's just different, and it's a good time, man. It's such a good time with that type of stuff. Um, but like you said, with the subs, I'm most of the time gonna take the silenced over it. But if I get a purple or gold tax sub, I'm like, hey, let me run with this
Yeah.
game. Um, no harm, no foul. But what about our other weapons that we got? We did get the revolver and the scoped assault rifle. Not like I could take them or leave them. It's nothing big for me. It's fun because it does have some variation. I think it goes back to more of a content type thing where you have that
Yeah.
variation. Maybe not the scope necessarily, but the revolver is always a fun time.
Yeah, my thing is I hate when they take away the hunting rifle though. I
Yeah,
really do.
I 100% agree. I don't know necessarily why they felt like that was neat. Maybe just to switch up the game again, but
Yeah, I mean, it's because we've talked about it before. The hunting rifle is it's such a content friendly weapon
mhm.
that you should want it in your game because it allows people to make clips and post them to the internet and boost your
Yeah,
popularity of your game.
that's the thing. Like, if you are on Instagram and there's a big thing for like trick shotting, right? In the bot lobbies, people go into bot lobbies and they try to get these last kills that are crazy trick shots. They use a launch pad and off a bounce pad, off of this, off of that, and they try to hit the last person from super far away. And the best gun to do that with is the hunting rifle because it's just an easier one to quick scope with or no scope, and it's more fun. But that creates a lot of content, which creates more buzz about your game, which then in turn makes people want to play. So them taking that out, it doesn't seem like the smartest move. But also, I just think that we should have always two types of snipers in this game, right? If you're gonna take that out,
do you include the scoped AR in that?
No,
Okay.
no, not at
I
all.
agree then. I agree.
So like we have a bolt right now, but that's it. So either put in a silenced one, where you can at least be sneaky, or the heavy, right? I mean, please don't bring back the storm one. Please don't bring back the spam. I don't need either of those.
Or the thermal AR.
Yeah,
one. Remember that?
I'm good with that. I don't need it. It's all right. We got thermal fish. That's fun. But with that, those two things I could take or leave. But I'm not mad that they're there, right?
Yeah.
I'm never mad. They could bring back literally every single weapon. And I'd be like, this is the best. This is so much fun. Maybe would it be overwhelming and like crazy? Yeah, but it would be so much fun because there would just be so many options.
Yeah.
But with that, they also brought back some fun things like the shockwave grenade and the boogie bomb, the bounce pad, and the portafort. What do you feel about these fun things that are coming back?
Oh, I'm into it. This is the type of stuff, again, I've been asking for Fortnite to do since mid 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It never made sense to me, and I tried to sell myself on what we were talking about at the beginning of this chapter, where it was bare bones Fortnite again, and it's starting from fresh. But, and we've had this conversation many times after that, what you Chris Rock has this joke where, and I'm not going to tell the joke entirely, but he said, he goes, men cannot go backwards in certain things within their dating life. Look up that joke, you'll get what I'm saying. To make the PG version of it, if you take me out to eat salmon, you better not take me out to eat tilapia ever again. You know what I'm saying? So we have these really fun things, and you take it away, and now it's kind of like, well, I guess my life sucks.
Yeah, and I think that, especially with what happened with the whole black hole event, Season X just sucked.
And the mechs, yeah.
Yeah, so Season X sucked. Season X sucked. We got this anticipation over 2 days off with the black hole, and then you come back and it's just a bare bones map with a bare bones weaponry. Like we said, we understood what they were trying to do. It just didn't hit, and hopefully they learn the lesson and never do it again.
Never.
Right? But I'm just so happy that we have these fun things back. It's fun because once again it brings back the nostalgia of the game, because we have a couple new friends who play with us now who haven't seen these things. They saw shockwave grenades maybe in a death run, bounce pads maybe in a death run. They never seen a portafort. We threw one yesterday and KG was like, "What the hell? Yeah. That thing's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. I can't build. I can use that." So that's a lot of fun. It's such a good time. And it gives that variation to the game again. Of who knows what's gonna happen. You might be in a build battle and all of a sudden you get a portafort thrown at you, and now your builds are blown up. You're being bounced up to the top of it, and there's people up there waiting for you. Who knows? Or we're stacking multiple portaforts again. I mean, that's so much. There's so many possibilities now. I know our one friend Nunzio got a kill, the final kill of a game, by throwing a shockwave and shockwaving the person into the storm, which I know when it happens to me, I'm gonna cry on the inside and maybe on the outside. But it brings that unpredictability back to the game. That's a lot of fun instead of just knowing, hey, I'm gonna have to run across the map. I'm gonna have these basic weapons, and I'm probably gonna die anyway. So that's a good time. But we also got those new mythic weapons I was talking about. And
real quick,
yes.
Do you want to just do the whole Marvel discussion now?
Yeah, let's do all of it.
So why don't we save the weapons towards the end of that?
Cool.
So let's talk about the battle pass being all Marvel skins.
All Marvel.
Which the last
All
podcast we were
Marvel.
like, oh, we'll probably get like 2 skins. Don't want to hype ourselves up.
Mm-hmm.
Every single skin is a Marvel
Every
skin.
skin with
Every
variants.
single one.
With
Every
variants.
single one has variants. It's like,
and with special emotes that they do in the game to change how they look.
Mm-hmm. All right, now there's one thing I have with that.
Yes.
The tier 100 skins original form sucks. Tony Stark being straight up Tony Stark at first, to me, is boring. I think what would have been fun for me personally would have been the basic Iron Man skin, like the make it the Mark 1, the bulky one. And then the variants would be like the Mark 2 and the Mark 3 or whatever. I think that would have been awesome.
That could,
because like, who are you ever going to run around as Tony Stark?
So here's the thing. This is the only thing I have to say about that skin. You might see it used in these competitive plays because people are starting to realize that it might be the sleekest skin. Now, does that do anything for hitboxes or anything? Not necessarily, but it might be harder to see when you're in builds or whatnot because people are thinking like they're comparing it. They're like, this is a very sleek skin, and it looks pretty cool because it's Tony Stark. So
it's still Tony Stark. Yes, Tony Stark, I agree.
But if I'm gonna rock Iron Man, I'm rocking Iron Man, right? I'm rocking him with the suit. So
we got the silver variants, the gold variants, the hollow variants.
That's so sick. I mean, they gave us like I said earlier, above and beyond this season with these skins, and having each type having their variants, and then having the foils that we could put on them. It's crazy that they pulled all this out, and we're able to get Marvel to work with them on all of it too. And then with that said, it's going to be intertwined in the lore this season. We're actually getting lore through our battle pass and through these comics. They're releasing comics that go on through the season, which is just the most fun because Marvel has a saying how these comics go, and they might be doing a little more of the legwork than actually what's happening. They're probably working with Fortnite creators, but for the people who complain that there hasn't been lore, you're getting lore, and probably going to be the best lore that we've ever gotten. Because it's going to be the most in-depth, because you have real storytellers on this. Because Marvel's name's on this, too. And they don't want to look bad.
Yeah, so, exactly.
With that, I think that's so much fun. But with those skins, are you disappointed about any like skins that maybe you want us to see that we didn't get?
So, by the way, I guess we should at least mention this.
Yeah.
We're recording this the day after Chadwick Boseman passed. Rest in power and peace. Sean and I just put out a video saying thank you to him for everything he's done for the Black community, the nerd community, the film community, everything. Originally, I really thought a Black Panther skin would have been cool. The only way I see that ever being a thing is if they either give it away for free to everyone, or and I don't like the idea of selling it, period. But if you do sell it, 100% of the proceeds have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Preferably to like cancer research.
Yeah.
In which case I'd be more on board for that, and I'd probably buy the skin.
100%. I think that skin would be one of the best selling skins if they do that.
Ever.
And just like you said, 100% of it goes to the cancer research. It gives back to what he fought for without people knowing why he was fighting for it so strongly.
Yeah.
With that said, that one skin, I mean, it would have been cool if it was in there, but also with these circumstances, if they don't put it out ever now, that's also, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, cool. Whatever. That's fine. Otherwise, any skins that I would have loved to have seen in there, the big one is Spider-Man, right? That's the biggest Marvel superhero ever, probably. I can see them not putting that in the battle pass because they want to make some money off it.
Yep, and you want to know what type they're probably going to make?
What type?
Miles Morales.
Whoa, you think so?
It's a promotion, man. Promotion, you put it out closer to when that game's going to come out.
When's that game coming out, by the way?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. What's a good Miles Morales PS5? Let's just say. Release date. Initial release date says 2020, so by the end of the year.
Also, it's this year still. Okay,
Bro,
interesting.
and this battle pass goes until the end of November.
I
So
could see
we
it.
might get that skin as like in the store promotion for the video game. It's a smart
I
move
mean,
to get those crossover gamers.
could you see them going the route of selling both regular Spider-Man? And, it'd be awesome. And it's not going to happen, but it'd be awesome if you have like data from Spider-Man PS4.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a PS4 player, if that was like the PlayStation exclusive thing,
Mm.
if it
Mm-hmm.
was the
You get
original
multiple
Spider-Man
variants.
version, and then you can buy the Miles Morales one in game.
That would be really cool.
That'd be cool. I mean, it would suck for all the non PS4 owners out there, but
Mm-hmm.
selfishly, I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man. Sean mentioned last night that he wanted some X-Men in there. Like that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean
Some
we
more. I
have
mean,
two.
no, those are the two that I would have preferred to see
Yeah,
personally. I mean,
people are
Magneto's
saying
cool.
they want to see Cyclops. I'm like, he's just a guy with. No offense, it's not the coolest costume. It's not
No,
like
costume wise, well, the most recent versions, which I'll send you a picture of,
yeah, are
they can
cooler.
get cool.
All right.
There's one where he has an X across his entire face,
Mm.
and it shoots out the laser,
Oh, that's pretty sick. Yeah.
and it looks dope.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, um, maybe some villains actually,
That
aside
would
from
be a
Doctor
lot of
Doom.
fun. Like villains, Thanos, Galactus, maybe. But obviously, you need to make them smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think anyone's gonna complain like, oh, they're smaller looking.
Are you upset at all that we got
She-Hulk,
She-Hulk rather than
the regular Hulk.
Bruce Banner? I'm
No,
not.
I'm not, because it's still a Hulk variant. So it's a
I
lot
think
of
she looks
fun.
cooler as well.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's different. If we got Hulk, we'd be like, of course, we got Hulk. But since we got She-Hulk, we're like, oh, that's sick. And she looks all professional to start with, and then you go, ah, and she becomes the She-Hulk, and it's fun. I keep going. I feel like I'm 500 times this podcast. People could count them. I keep going. It's fun. It's fun. It's just that's how excited I am. Like everything is bringing out this illicit response of just being like, wow, it's just such a good time. Yeah, it's like everything they did was just so good. But I agree. Spider-Man would have been sick. I think some villains would be a lot of fun.
Ooh, Venom and Carnage.
Yeah. That or Green Goblin would be a fun one.
Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter. I mean, there's a bunch that you could do that would be awesome. Iceman. It's the superhero realm is so rich with characters that they took some big swings with these. Like they went for the big guys. But if they want to go more for the rest of Fortnite's history, I don't want every season to be a superhero season, obviously. But if you want to sprinkle them in throughout, I will never.
But like, that's the thing. We can never what Fortnite did with this season. Completely caught me off guard in the sense of they got the biggest names and put them in the game. They got Iron Man. They had Cap already, which already when they put out Cap, I was like, oh my god, they put out Cap.
Same.
And then they were like, you know what? Well, here's some Iron Man. Here's Wolverine.
Right? Here's
Thor. Yeah. Wow, how did I forget about Thor? So they have the biggest names in Marvel at this time. So it's just so exciting because when Marvel goes back to putting out more movies, Fortnite could be like, hey, want a skin? Let's chop up another deal. We could get a. So maybe every time we get a new Marvel movie, we get new skins in Fortnite. I'm not mad at that. But then the thing is too, they got DC, bro. They're still got the DC things, and that's so wild that they're able to. They're like, no, don't worry, we got you. We're good. Like
it's really alpha. It's really alpha of them,
bro. It's just and we said it last
BDE.
time. The things they do, the things that Fortnite has done for the gaming community and realm isn't fully valued because of the game that it is, right? Because it is one of the most popular games, and and a lot of people hate on it for whatever reason, you know. Um, and with that, they don't value the fact that it started cross-platform. It's started live events in games. Um,
Yeah.
it has this mashup and bringing in outside entities constantly, no matter where they're from. Movies, TV, comics, other video games. Borderlands, they got another video game, and we're like, give us your skins, we'll bring those in too. So they're like intermingling, they're mashing the things and it's a free game.
When you bring that up, it's like crazy.
We didn't pay for this. I mean, we paid for this. But technically, if you played your cards right, playing the free season, you could have gotten every battle pass free after that.
Yeah.
Which is just mind-boggling. And I mean, the things they've done, and then now they're back on their bullshit, right? They're like, just you thought Call of Duty, you thought, right? There's that other Hyperscape or whatever battle royale that came out. They're like, nah.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, they're like, nah, we're Fortnite. Don't forget what we do.
And right? They were in danger of Fall Guys taking the crown.
Oh, dude, Fall Guys. And, yo, shout out to Fall Guys. Most popular PS Plus game.
Which is awesome. It really is awesome.
Most popular. Crazy. They destroyed the record. So good for them. But let's get back to this Marvel season, right? We got some new...
I have two things to ask you.
Go on.
The first one is regarding the weapons you were bringing up earlier.
Yes.
So we brought up the Stark rifle. Mm-hmm. There's 3 other things, correct? I think 3.
Yes.
The Silver Surfer.
Yes. Groot's.
And both Doom things.
No, Groot's and then 2 Dooms.
I'm sorry, I've never used the Groot thing.
Yeah.
So why don't we save the Doom things for last, because I think that's the biggest portion of this conversation.
Yeah, we talked about the Stark.
Talk to me about the Groot thing.
All right, so another thing we could get at these Quinjets, I remember the name earlier, I was like, those places. The Quinjets is the Silver Surfer ability and the Groot ability, right? Now, both of these are amazing. They're not really OP necessarily. I mean, in ways you could use them to become OP, but the Silver Surfer, you get the ability and it shoots you up a little bit, and then you glide on the Silver Surfer's board. So much fun.
Kind of replaces the launch pad.
Yeah, kind of replaces the launch pad. And then the group's, it's called Groot's Bramble Shield. And what it does is you get wrapped up in twigs into a ball, and you can move. And if you break through things, it gives you health. And if you jump, it gives you health. The jumping slows your speed down, so that stops. So it stops your momentum. But you could use it for rotating if you're in a battle and you need to get somewhere else or back up. And it gives you health. So, you could be almost on the verge of death, and then you could get out of where you are and get health. That's amazing. The Silver Surfer surfboard, I was just on Reddit right before this. I noticed that when you first launch, it could break through a couple layers of things. So if someone's above you, you could poof, and then poof.
That's crazy.
And people are calling that OP, but I just think that's a way to use it. I don't think it's necessarily OP. It's just it's a fun way to use it. So with those things, they're a lot of fun, right? And we did see that we were getting other abilities. There was Black Panther abilities. That's why people thought a skin was coming. And I think they're probably going to add more abilities throughout the season. But I think this is the best types of mythics so far. I love them. I think because those ones are not super spammy, and that's great.
those ones.
But now we could get to the Doctor Doom's abilities with the mythical bomb and his
gauntlets.
Yeah. Now, first things first. Why does he have 2? Maybe because he's the only boss, but
yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, because the problem is, they wouldn't be bad individually necessarily, right? But when you're running squads and the same squad has both of those, now we have a problem because they get super spammy.
Or even duos.
The big bomb, cool. Throw it, you got a cooldown. The gauntlets, they just poof, poof, poof. They're grenade launchers, basically. And they never
reload.
They do what, 50?
I think 50.
50.
I was so mad last night. I hit someone dead on with one for 50 damage, and then I got destroyed. Because that's all I had was the gauntlets in my rotation. So yeah, I think
But
50.
with that, it's just those are the only things out of this season that I'm like, ugh, this is a little crazy. Now,
Changes the meta.
maybe they'll do some tweaking here and there, right?
Hopefully.
To it. Because that type of stuff, when it's OP like that, they usually tweak a little bit. So we'll see. But I would love to see more like abilities. Like I would like to see a Wolverine one eventually. Or maybe you get like Wolverine gloves and they come out, and then you get for maybe 10 seconds you get to swing and you can break through one shot walls. Maybe it does damage to people, right?
That'd
So
be
you
cool.
go on like a quick rampage, or maybe you go on a rampage in a certain direction, right? So like when you activate it, you just start shredding, but you shred forward. That could be a lot of fun. There could be so many fun things. I think the Black Panther one was supposed to be like his absorption suit, where if you get hit, it like either ricochets
That's
or it
crazy.
pulses back out, which could be really cool. But I think this variant of these mythics are the most fun because they're more than one on the map, right? So multiple people could have the Silver Surfer surfboard or the group bambling thing. The Doom ones, there's only one, obviously. But they're not crazy like game breaking. They're more of a
Would a
fun
web shooter
thing.
be fun?
I think that would be a lot of fun. Where I think it would be the most fun in almost like a grappling type of sense. Where you
Okay.
have your own, so kind of like how the plunger thingy was.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the best way, but just have it unlimited. Maybe like a 5-second cooldown or something. But you could do it as much as possible, and it just shoots you, brings you to where you want to go.
Maybe you don't take fall damage though.
Yeah, no
when you
fall
use it.
damage, or you could open your glider if you do it.
What if someone could web you, like trap you?
It could be interesting because
It could be fun, but it could
it
also
could be
be
fun.
ragey.
It could, yeah. Because if you get hit by it, and then all of a sudden you can't build, or I mean, you can't pump or whatever. Maybe it just like stops you where you are for a couple seconds.
Ooh, even that.
But not necessarily stops you from shooting or building.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot of possibilities, right? So that's what's. I mean, man, that's what's exciting.
One more question.
Yes.
You mentioned Fortnite being the first to have in-game events.
Mm-hmm.
The comic that they've introduced for the season shows Galactus, obviously. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Do you believe / do you want there to be a Galactus-themed event for the season?
So I don't know if everyone else noticed, but we didn't get an event at the end of last season. Right?
Which is interesting.
First time in a long time. And I think it's because they're going to be ramping up for a huge event for this season. And I heard Cypher PK, shout out Cypher PK, one of the bigger streamers who stuck with the game of Fortnite, say Galactus is destroyer of worlds, man. What if our map gets destroyed? And what if everyone's thinking, 10 chapter seasons because that's how the first one was? Maybe not. Maybe we cut this one short. We bring it back to the old island with new things, right? Swimming, carrying people, all that fun stuff. Maybe you bring over a couple POIs. Maybe maybe the 7 come back to save the day from Galactus.
Oh, that'd
maybe
be
the
fun.
heroes don't even save the heroes can't stop Galactus, but the 7, I don't know, man.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jimmy Neutron go inside my ear, brain blast. What if this is just, it's not going to happen. What if the 7 weren't actually the 7 that saves us? What if the 7 was the freaking Justice League, dog?
Bro, that would be so crazy.
That would be wild.
Oh my god! If they could get both
explode.
parties like a Marvel DC mashup at the same time,
I would explode.
Oh my god!
I would explode.
Now, I don't think that's happening due to the fact that all the news for the Marvel season were released the day of DC fandom. But
yeah, I don't think it's happening either.
I still think they got a little animosity towards each other.
I think so.
But that, oh my god, that would be crazy. Wow. Yeah, and that's funny. How do you feel about the couple of POIs we got? Just real quick. It's
Um,
not much, but we're
I
getting
mean,
more for sure. They already announced that we're getting more.
conceptually speaking, my favorite one is the Sentinel Graveyard. I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
really cool concept.
That you could bounce around from each one is really cool.
Yeah, that's really dope. Otherwise, the Doom's Palace is
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know exactly what else we're getting, but I know they said we're getting at least 3 or 4 more, which
I mean,
is cool.
to me, like you can make like we mentioned this I think last week on the pod. A little Asgard action would be dope. Um, I mean, otherwise, maybe Professor X's mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The, to me, you just gotta have fun. Just
Yeah.
be as playful, as silly, as
Mm-hmm.
comicky as
And
possible.
use the content you got as much as possible. Like we're Marvel, this is a full Marvel season. Try to get as much of their stuff as possible, right? In the game,
Yeah.
as
Still.
many POIs as possible. Go out big, right? Especially if this is the last season we have this map, maybe do it big, do it big. Um, but yeah, man, it's so exciting. Last thing, we talked about it a little here and there on stream. Any LTM's that you'd like to see?
I personally would like to see. I mean, a return of the Gauntlet LTM would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it'd be nice if maybe we didn't have to become Thanos when we picked up the Gauntlet. I think it would just be cool if the Gauntlet was like the sword back in the day,
Yeah, where
where
you
you
just
pick it
could
up
punch,
and
or
it's
you could,
just your item.
yeah, laser and yeah, hundred
Or
percent.
an LTM, maybe where everyone has a gauntlet and it's just mayhem.
Or just where you have the weapons of the other weapons like the shield, the bow and arrow,
Yeah,
those
all
types
of
of
them.
things. Just have an Avenger 50v50 Avengers mashup, right?
50v50 or squads but Avengers.
Squads with Avengers, and then maybe even have these other new mythic things that you have in the game, the abilities.
I would straight up only want to play that for the entire amount of time it's in the game.
It would be so much fun. And then I know Sean that you could also see on Geeks Weekly with Kyle. Um, he mentioned we had that Storm King fight that one time, that big boss battle. How that could be really cool if that was Galactus towards the end. Like maybe they do that towards the end of the season, and
Yeah.
they do that with Galactus. Um, but that's all I could really think of. I mean, they're more creative than we are. Obviously, they are. This is their job. This is what they do. So I just hope we get Marvel themed LTM's. That's my biggest thing. I want to see some Marvel themed LTM's because I miss the LTM's, the fun ones, and they always have been a big thing that we like to do with whether it's one shot and certain games like that. Um, but the last thing I wanted to bring up um, is the fact that we have a 14-week season this time. They
Yeah.
announced that the season doesn't end until November 30th, and which is normally we have 10-week seasons. They said 14 weeks. And do you think that's a smart move on their part from the
Yeah, I mean,
beginning?
I'd
Even though
much rather
it's a longer season, but
it, that's not the longest season ever though, right? 14 weeks
I don't
is
think so. No, I don't think so because I think the not the last one, but two ago, chapter or season one or whatever it was, season two. Sorry, chapter two, season two. I think was the longest because it was the overtime and then the delay and then they just kept delaying it. Um, so I
Oh,
think
was that
that
the
was
one with 3 delays?
yeah, I think,
Oof,
but
yeah.
I don't necessarily remember. Right, I just know that this hill isn't going to be the longest.
That's the thing. Like I'd rather this than 10 weeks. Oh, by the way, we kind of are going to delay the season.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to tell you how long, but we're delaying it.
And that's the thing. If they were like 10 weeks and then we're just delaying the season another month, where that's basically what's happening. But at least we know from the beginning, like, oh, we got 14 weeks of this. But I also think it's coming in the sense of the lore telling and the storytelling because there's a lot of stuff coming out that there's going to be some map changes and there's going to be in-game things. We already have there's these Stark
Yeah.
shield things and they're starting to light up already. So we're already having things that are coming into play here, which is going to be very interesting. Um, But that's what I want. Like, once again, I want things to happen during the season. Last season we got the water lower, but that was really it. We eventually got cars. Still wasn't as much as the past, where like it was like once a week. We'd be like jumping in every week. We'd be like, oh, we got something new happening. Even if it is just turning on these shields, right? These things. That stuff just keeps the game feeling fresh and exciting. Um, but with that, is there anything else you wanted to break down, applaud, talk crap
Um,
about this season?
Honestly, I think we touched on pretty much
Mm-hmm.
everything. I'm just, to me, I just wanted to say that this is probably the most excited I've been to play Fortnite since maybe the season where we got the futuristic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what season that was. That might have been season 9.
Season 9. Yeah,
And that was only because of the new tunnel system that they
and that
had
was the
where we could
combat
travel.
sniper season.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. So since then, which was, what was it, last year around this time, right?
that was a long time ago. I could Google it.
And it's
Uh,
either that or, I mean, maybe the Christmas season where we had Happy Hamlet.
hmm.
That was also an exciting time just because I'm a
Yeah,
big
dude,
Christmas guy.
over a year ago, season 9, May 9th, it came out. And it ended on July 12th, 2019.
So that first 2 quarters of the year were the last time I was this excited to play Fortnite.
And isn't
It's a
that
long time.
crazy? It's been a year since we were happy and excited to play Fortnite, right? And
Yeah.
that's like Kyle just said. That's a long time. Oh, that's the season we got the mech chicken looking thing.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite skins ever.
Yeah, and wow, man, what a good time. I mean, and it just shows that they still have it in them. Maybe all that crap we were talking about, how they don't care. Maybe they were just trying things and it just weren't hitting in the way they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Maybe they still do care, and then maybe that's what this is showing us, or maybe they got the bag. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they got the
But
bag.
either way, I'm very happy that this season is like this. And I'm happy to say at the end of this podcast, hey Kyle, when are you hopping on Fortnite? Because that's all I want to know. Like, and it's so much fun to have that feeling again, where it's just like, okay, let's go get some dubs. Like, I'm so excited to play Fortnite. I'm not excited. I have other games. There's Fall Guys that I still want to do the battle pass, but I'm like, but are people gonna be on to play Fortnite? Because if people are on to play Fortnite, then I'm gonna play Fortnite. Especially because I want to get to 220 to get the hollow of
Yep.
everything. And I'm just so excited to see what this season brings because it feels like we're gonna have a lot of changes throughout the season. We're gonna get new things introduced, and that's exciting too because once again we're going back to the old Fortnite. And I want to say thank you, Epic. Thank you for bringing this feeling back. Thank you for having another banger of a season and putting in all this work to give us a great game again. I know you're not getting a lot of thanks on a lot of the internet, but if anyone happens to see this video of just some random guy thanking you, thank you, Epic, for doing all of it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm, again, as we said it 1,000 times, I'm super hyped. Make sure to check out John's stream because we are back to having some fun. And speaking of which, John, where can the people find you?
As always, you guys can find me on twitch.tv/ Ginger Gorilla Gaming. Ginger Gorilla Gaming on YouTube if you're not watching it there. You can also listen to this if you are watching it there. Listen to it just by searching Gorilla and the Geek on any of your favorite podcast apps. And then obviously Twitter up above Ginger Gorilla and Instagram Ginger Gorilla Gaming. Just search Ginger Gorilla or Ginger Gorilla Gaming, and most of the time you will see that logo pop up and you will know it's me. And Kyle, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. You can find me on YouTube and your favorite podcast app, Geeks Weekly. That's 2 words, Geeks Weekly. The Chadwick Boseman video broke these two up, but by the time this podcast rather is out, there should be 2 videos on Geeks Weekly regarding Batman. The first one is a Batman movie tier list, and another video that I just shot 10 minutes before we started recording this podcast is a Batman somewhat character analysis video. So be on the lookout for those. Be on the lookout for future content. Check me out on John's stream. Again, I'm there almost every stream. We're having fun, catching dubs, talking that spice, and, living that quarantine life. Also, be on the lookout for probably at some point next month our newest reality review podcast where we discuss
So
Double Sided
excited.
Love.
So
John
excited.
John legit just watched this week's episode right before recording this. And yeah, super hyped. We got some. The podcast feels like it's back on a really fun note, John.
Yeah, man. Especially because we're getting content again. So that's awesome.
Exactly.
But
Stuff
check us out on all of our other platforms. Also, once again, let us know if you want to see anything, hear from us about any certain topics. Check us out. And as always, peace out, everybody.
See you next time.